Hey there, everyone. Cathy here, your wellness coach and fellow female activist. Anyone new here? Hi, hello, how are you? Subscribe, like, all that jazz, share. Today is our wellness playlist, and we are in our mental fitness pillar, and we are entitled today, Regulation is Key. Regulation is key. So, with that, we always start our wellness and our recommendation playlists with what's called positive quotient repetitions. Positive quotient repetitions. All right, so here we go. If you are able, only if you feel safe and able, feel free to close your eyes. Regardless of where you're at in space, meaning laying down, sitting, standing, I want you to roll your shoulders back. Again, you can close your eyes. Think about having a nice tall spine though. Okay, really elongate. So you have a nice open chest. And what I want you to do, if you're able, is go ahead and listen to the furthest away sound you can hear. It could be something outside. It could be your family in another room. Whatever sound you can hear furthest away. Now, I want you to listen to the closest sound you can hear. Now, go ahead and take some fingertips and place them on a surface near you. It could be your own body, it can be something right next to you. And just let the fingertips explore whatever they are on. What sensations do those fingertips feel? Is the surface cool? What's the texture? Is it rough? Is it warm? What do you feel? And when you're ready, go ahead and blink your eyes open and come on back. That, my friends, are called positive quotient repetitions or PQ reps. If you were a little elevated in your regulation, i.e., if you were feeling a little flustered before, hopefully you can feel a difference. If you were already somewhat calm and, feeling groovy, you're not going to really necessarily feel much of a difference. You might have a little bit more clarity, okay, just a little bit more focus, but not much in the way of your nervous system. But that's what we're talking about today. Mental fitness is the pillar that we're in, and we're talking about regulation is key. So I am working towards a certification of becoming a positive um, quotient coach or positive intelligence coach, really. And it's all about, again, realizing that you are not a slave to your emotions. As a matter of fact, we love emotions, okay? Us as humans, okay? We are animals, okay? We're part of the animal kingdom, whether you believe it or not. Scientifically, we are part of the animal kingdom. All animals have feelings. We all have emotions, and that's a good thing. I'm not here to villainize your emotions one way or another, okay? What I am here is to share with you the fact that our autonomic nervous system, ANS, has two parts to it, main parts. It has our, um, um, sometimes I forget, and that's scary. Hello, menopause. The parasympathetic, okay, and the sympathetic. So the sympathetic is unfortunately what we're usually in most of the time, which is low grade stress. Our sympathetic nervous system is what keeps us alert and alive in a crisis. The parasympathetic, okay, You can think of it as yin and yang, right? But our parasympathetic is our rest and digest, meaning we should more often be in our parasympathetic nervous system. We are not, though. We are usually, again, in a low grade stress, chronic stress, and that's not good for the nervous system. For regulation to happen, we get to let our bodies know that we are safe. So repeat after me. Body, I am safe. Now, hopefully that's the truth, right? Hopefully you are listening to this and you're not in any type of actual life or death danger. Keep in mind that our minds, okay, they don't see reality the way we do as sanctioned beings, right? Our brains, specifically our subconscious, does not know the difference between reality and dreaming. Okay. To them, it's one and the same. So that is why when you've had some type of a, night terrors, nightmares, whatever you want to call them, when you wake up startled, right? That's your body is reacting to what it really thought was a life-threatening situation. So again, our subconscious, which runs 97% of our thought process throughout our waking hours, does not know the difference between what's going on in reality, what we are experiencing, versus, oh, wait, this situation really isn't life-threatening. She's just elevated because she's elevated. Like it doesn't know the difference. Because of that, as beings who are now supposedly evolving, we get to regulate our nervous systems ever so much more. One, we know more about our bodies, right? We're learning through science every day more about this wonderful um, product called our body, okay? And all the components of it. Mental fitness is still so unexplored, right? But what we do know, and what we do know, is that regulating our nervous system is the key, quite literally, to making sure that our body doesn't go into fight or flight unnecessarily and does not stay there forever. Okay. So regulation is so important because when our nervous system is at ease, all of our other body's systems can work more efficiently. Keep in mind, so I used to run, and at some point I may run again. I ran a half marathon, and at some point I may decide to run a full marathon. And not an ultra, not ever. I can say that with with much fact. But nonetheless, uh, runners and other endurance athletes who don't get to necessarily find a bathroom. Now, in a marathon, even in a regulation marathon, you can take a potty break. That's I would. I can't really see myself running for 26 miles and not having to go potty at some point. So just saying. But I digress. What I'm getting at is our bodies, okay, if you're a runner, you know this. Marathoners do defecate on themselves. It's it just is what it is. Um, what's even funnier though is that most runners, right before, like we're talking like right before a race starts, at any shape or form, we hit the bathroom. Why? Because our bodies sensing what's going to happen, what is our body doing? It's preparing, unfortunately, through the sympathetic nervous system for flight or flight. It knows quite literally that I'm going to go running for the next how many hours. I need to release as much as possible. And so most of us, right before we run, like quite literally right before we start running, we head to the restroom and everything comes out. And then if you're good to go, knock on wood, you don't have to go again. But I say that in all earnestness because never in any other activity did I ever really have that happen. Yeah, I would have butterflies, when I would take part in other type of, events or, sporting events, but it was never quite this literal and again, TMI, right? But as a runner, we're all used to it. We all know that this happens. So I say that because it was our nervous system, right? It's our nervous system quite literally saying, in the subconscious, okay, our primal brain telling us she's going into danger. We need to release everything necessary to make her faster, to get her out of danger. Imagine that is what your nervous system is feeling every single day because of all that's coming at you constantly, right? Regardless of where you live in this world. So regulating our nervous system to then calm down on a regular basis is much more helpful. Now, keep in mind, again, this is like biology, right? So the body knowing that it needs to release bile so that you can run more efficiently, that's just, it's going to happen. Like you could try to hold it, not a good idea. In the same way, though, our bodies, okay, prepare us on any given day, any given moment for what could be a life or death situation. But it does not recognize when that is not going to be a life or death. In other words, what I'm getting at, when you get so frustrated because you can't find your key fob for your vehicle, you get all hot and bothered, right? And you start just going crazy around your residence trying to find the key fob. Well, your body doesn't know the difference between you just can't find the key fob and, oh, wait, there's a saber-toothed tiger chasing me. Your brain does literally does not know the difference. So your subconscious says, I'm going to jack up that cortisol, I'm going to jack up the adrenaline, and we're going to go fight. Well, hello, you're trying to find the key fob. You're not trying to fight the saber-tooth tiger. And so your thought process, right, goes out the window because now you're trying to get away from the tiger. No, you're trying to find a key fob, which means you get to come back quickly, very quickly, to your to the prefrontal cortex, the logic. And if you can take the nervous system back into a regulated state, you will be able to reach the prefrontal cortex. You will not do so in the fight or flight, which is your subconscious lives back here. So I keep pointing there. Please understand that when you regulate your nervous system, you are then regulating much better all your other bodily systems, to most importantly, include your breath. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it so you remember it. Your brain, above all else, will listen to your lungs. So your breathing triggers your brain to go into fight or flight. Yeah, yes, your nervous system, right, is what's going to be affected. But keep in mind, the brain, right, CPU of your body, right, it's connected to everything. So if your lungs start to have shallow breathing, that's the signal to your nervous system from your brain. Hey, we're in danger. We got to stiffen up. We got to, like whatever the case is. Your nervous system, though, if you're able to regulate it, that will regulate your breathing. That then sends a signal to your brain. We are not in saber-tooth danger. I can't find my key fob. I get to sit down, regulate my breathing, regulate my nervous system, and then rationally find the key fob. That's how we want it to go. But that takes practice. And that takes practice. And that takes practice. The more you practice regulating your nervous system, the easier it does become. But don't think that you're just gonna be this wonderful, happy, parasympathetic, always person. No, that is not normal, nor is it useful. We have two opposing sides of our autonomic nervous system for a reason. Our fight or flight system literally keeps us alive. The parasympathetic is where we want to be, though, to live our lives, right, in a normal setting. So keep in mind, all right, our bodies work as they should. Okay, evolution has not caught up to all of the technology, right? But we can, as humans, give our bodies a break and help our nervous systems regulate themselves. And I can show you how through the, mental fitness practice known as positive quotient repetitions. But I digress. What I want to just leave you with is realize when you can regulate your nervous system, more often than not, you're going to end up less stressed overall, okay, over a period of time. And that's a good thing. So do not berate yourself. Do not tell yourself that you're never going to have control. That is false. what we get to do is work as a team, right? To realize, okay, these are the little baby steps that you're going to take to then start to tell your brain consistently and with a system in place that works, you are safe. Okay, what you're experiencing now is just a little hiccup and it will be okay. And I can help you again with that. One way, and I always forget to remind the listeners here that at the end of every month, okay, the last day of every month, I go live in here, the YouTube channel, and I have a live yoga session or clinic. So, come at 12 p.m. PT or watch the replay, and I will be here live. And I hope to see you there. I just got certified in yin yoga, so I can even toss that in there now. But nonetheless, if you were ever curious about yoga in any way, I can help you out. So with that, yes, the I go live again, the end of every month, the last day of every month, and it's free. And you can just come in, hop in, or watch the replay. I love to have you. Until next time, take care and take charge.